Oh, you're a programmer. I have a problem with my printer. What's the equivalent of this in your job? Oh, you are a paramedic. I do have a red stinking part at my left arm washed for. Can I show it to you? While the person shows it directly in that moment, and then expects a complete therapy plan about the next years. We are here for emergency medicine and help people to stay alive until they are in the hospital, not long-term medicine. Sure, we do have more knowledge than the average citizen, but our main goal is that our patient stays alive. Also, if you ask us what our hardest case was, we will just tell you something which will shock most people, but not the one that really traumatized us. Oh, you are a paramedic. I do have a red stinking part at my left arm washed for. Can I show it to you? While the person shows it directly in that moment, and then expects a complete therapy plan about the next years. We are here for emergency medicine and help people to stay alive until they are in the hospital, not long-term medicine. Sure, we do have more knowledge than the average citizen, but our main goal is that our patient stays alive. Also, if you ask us what our hardest case was, we will just tell you something which will shock most people, but not the one that really traumatized us. I work at a college. Oh, can you change my grades for me? I didn't work in that area. I worked the switchboard for years. My favorite one was when I got a phone call from someone on campus asking me if I knew where he had agreed to meet his friend. All I could do is give him a few memorable spots on campus to check the fountain, to front entrance, the cafeteria, the student lounge. My fellow switchy got asked how to cook fish once and got in a long discussion over fish recipes. Oh, you're a lifeguard. Teach me to swim or give me medical advice or dietary advice. I just know how to keep you alive until paramedics get here. And I'm not qualified for the rest. To think I'm supposed to clean, heat the pool jacuzzi, open close windows the roof. It's winter, so indoor pool. Let them break all sorts of different rules that can cost me my workplace the license. My bosses also seem to think I'm qualified to operate the pool machinery. Different job. My wife is a CPA. Obviously. People constantly ask her about tax questions, but CPA letters are like doctors, and many of them, such as my wife, have a very specific specialty, and in her cases, not individual taxes. It's massive businesses and a specific industry. Also, people don't realize the risk they are putting on their CPA by asking, without seeing your full financial situation. It's hard to tell certain things. If bad advice eventually came back to her, she could be in trouble for it. I'm an IT programmer and my fiancé is a nurse. We both hate spending time with our families because they ask for and ignore all advice. Last time my uncle asked me to look at his computer. It had been overrun with a virus that essentially built itself into Windows Explorer. He didn't want to wipe it and reinstall Windows because he had photos on there that he had scanned from an old album. The album was sitting on the shelf. He ended up dropping $1,000 on a new computer instead. Oh, you're a writer. Could you edit and proofread my manuscript for free because we're friends? Could you co-write a book with me? We'll make lots of money and split the profits 50-50. Could you outline a book for me? No, then could you write the book for me? Could you read my book and tell me if it's any good? Writing is so easy. Teach me how to do it in 2 hours. Hey you. No freaking way. It's so easy. You don't need to be paid. Answer to all of these nitrogen monoxide. Oh, you train horses. My daughter would love to learn how to horse ride. Can I bring her over sometime? Lady, I'm either breaking horses to the saddle for their very first time, or working on rehabilitating deeply traumatized animals with dangerous vices and bad behaviors. Keep your child away from them. On top of that, horse trainer, not riding instructor. If I had the patience to teach things to people, I wouldn't be teaching animals much easier. Believe me, I'm until I get to take the training just a teller at a bank. I have people ask about mortgage rates, CD rates and yield, and basically everything I am not qualified trained in and expect me to have the answers. Bonus points when they want me to explain how Trustpower works and how to set it up. I do know how our poll works, but setting it up is going to require an attorney. Even if I knew how to do it, I cannot risk the legal action with my shitty wages. I work in the cannabis industry, so many people come to me asking which cannabinoid is best for treating some obscure illness. A lot of them even say I couldn't find anything on Google, and then still expect me to have information for them. Cannabis employees aren't privy to some special info network. If you ask me about cannabis for neuropathy, I'm going to Google cannabis for neuropathy. I'm not an expert. I just get high and Google shit sometimes. You're a translator. What does random English word, often so grossly mispronounced or misspelt it hardly registers as English mean in German? My mother, at least once a week. No, I do not know this random very specific term you threw at me without any context whatsoever. Sometimes she's already figured it out and asks anyway. To test me or something, contrary to popular belief. And not a walking dictionary though. I'm a medical writer, I have a PhD in chemistry, but I write scientific materials relating to dermatology and other medical practice areas too. But that's the main one. I'm consistently asked for medical advice from my family members, including recently, someone on my wife's side asking if a surgery time for a hip replacement seemed long to me. I have no fucking idea at best. I can give you advice on what lotion to use. In party rentals, dropping off chairs, tents, bounce houses to homes, clubhouses, etc. People expect us to have an entire toolshed in the van. Can I borrow your drill? Don't you have a ladder? I need to use your chainsaw to clear my trees for extra fit. Also, the amount of people asking us to move furniture or haul us swing sets to clear space for what they ordered and move it back to for free is insane. It came from, and it was supposed to arrive today or yesterday, but I don't have a tracking number and I'm not entirely sure if it is being handled by your company, any of the other courier companies. Do you know where my box is? Or do you have the box yourself? When I first started in television production, post-production, my mother would tell her friends there I was in the TV business. Almost every time they asked if I could come by and fix their set. When I shifted into IT, she still didn't learn, told her friends I worked with computers. And yes, the tech support calls came fast and furious. What I learned: never tell your mum what you do for a living. Mech engineer, hey X is broken, can you fix it? Or how do I build Y? My specialty is machine design and industrial automation. I'm sorry I don't know how to install your deck shed for free, Dad. Bonus for chef's cooks from my aunt. Oh, you're a chef? You must eat so well. Every night my aunt rapidly devours microwave pizza rolls over the trash can, like a raccoon after her shift. I work as a cartographer of subterranean infrastructure for a large power company. I've gotten multiple people approach me to see if I can expedite them getting their cable capacity, upgrade it, so they can start making money on their solar panels. And I'm just sitting there like, no, Brenda, you should have checked the maps I made before deciding to get those solar panels. You're econometrician. I have a problem with my printer. And my personal favorite, I've put my disk into the floppy drive upside down and back to front. It's wedged. You know how computers work. It does bother me that to date people believe that statistics covers mending the photocopier, geomapping and auditing a call center. Though it is vets I feel sorry for. I'm a welder. Wife wanted me to build her some adult-sized tricycle with cargo capacity. Of course without any plans. I'm not a designer engineer. Just because I can put two hot metal bars together. So I have one metal bar doesn't mean I can magically build anything with scrap metal. Oh, and we don't even have a welding machine at home, or even any safe places to weld. You're an aerospace engineer. I'm so glad you're on this flight. You'll be able to fly the plane if something happens. Little do they know I'm a horrible pilot and used to regularly crash the simulators. I can tell you why the plane is able to fly and how fast it's going to be able to roll, but you do not want me anywhere near the yoke and throttle. And hours of editing with a real photographer, followed by them getting a little offended and not believing you when you say you literally don't have the gear or talent for it to even be possible. Oh, you're an embalmer. Don't you get freaked out by dead bodies? Well, no. Or I wouldn't have chosen this career change. I get this reaction every time I meet someone new. It's like asking the taxi driver what time they get off at. People can't seem to help it, but it's such a ridiculous question when you think about it. My ex-wife's family is different than I. They seem to really like to talk over a problem even after it's solved. I spray lawns for a living, and every one of her elderly uncles would ask me about what to do with dandelions. It's an easy fix, explained in one sentence, but they would just keep on talking about it. Oh, you're big and strong. Why don't you help me love this big heavy entertainment set up to a client's place? Dem halfway there tell them I'm an independent contractor half the time and charge $10,000 initiation fee on top of my $1,000 and I humans trafficking big things across large distances. I work with cell phone accessories and I repair iPhone screens. I will constantly have people say, since you work here you have to know what my phone's doing. Proceeds to explain issues with an app. I work with hardware and know practically nothing about apps other than I use certain ones and they work well. I worked in semiconductor manufacturing for 15 years. I was one of the engineers sustaining, developing, and improving chemical processes on the silicon wafers that eventually get diced up and packaged to become the chips you think of. Oh, you make computer chips. You must know how to help me fix my PC. Oh, you're a dog trainer. Can I pay you to walk my dog? No. Can you keep my dog? That I'm not going to pay you to train at your house while I go on vacation. Also no. My dog has some mouts. Can you shave him? Definitely not. I know exactly one clip, and that is shave bald for surgery.